be a big grown up. Stop being a little and asking for people to like honorably discharge you. If that's how you're feeling, get out.
Backdoors and Blindside starts now.
We are Backdoors and Blindsides, covering all forms of competition reality TV, talking Traitors Season 4, Episode 10, Do You Know the Enemy? If you're checking us out for the first time, we are wrapping up our coverage of Season 4 of the Traitors US on Peacock. We're about to dive into ongoing coverage of Survivor 50. We have a backlog of Survivor 49 recaps and Big Brother 27 recaps, as well as some other fun shit before, during, and what is to come. But thanks for checking out the show. I know I did IDM last night with Othello, and he gave me a chance to plug the show a million times. Some people said that they were going to subscribe to the YouTube channel, listen to the pod, whether they watch the TV shows or not. So appreciate you coming around, and shouts to the IDM dogs for having me on and giving me that platform. Love those guys. We are so fucking close to the end. And I know this is coming out post finale, dropping on Peacock.
And so close to being caught up.
God damn, we were caught up for like 2 days and then it all got fucked again.
Yeah.
But we will be releasing our recap of the finale. If you're listening to this on the day that it comes out, probably in the following day
Very
or two
soon
at the
after.
very most. And that will include the reunion as well.
Yes, we're having a podcast weekend where we're watching. We have not watched the finale yet.
No.
It is several days. I have been off of social media. I have been trying to look away from everything, which is unfortunate that we get behind, because then I feel like I'm not, looking on Instagram or Threads or any news articles or anything about this particular episode. So that kind of makes me a little annoyed. But I've been trying to stay off the social medias, and I have not had it ruined for me. Have you had it ruined for you yet?
No.
Okay.
I keep seeing just like little pieces of fucking, I see faces,
Yes, and then I scroll right past it.
And that doesn't mean shit. It's just Maura's face. It's just Rob's face. It's Natalie's face. And yeah, I try to get away from it immediately. I try not to be on Instagram as much as possible. I did say on IDM last night, if you message me on Instagram about this show, Backdoors and Blindsides, I will send you my phone number though. So that's an open invitation to anyone who wants to fill their day with text messages. But kind of speaking of texts and outreach and stuff like that, a lot of people will reach out and like awesome, listeners, people like Kevin, people like Jeff, people like Brad. And they're like, have you watched yet? Right? Because like people are just like eager to talk about it. If we haven't dropped the podcast yet, there's a really good chance, I would say more often than not, we have not watched the episode yet. And now, is that bad journalism? Yes. Do I care? No, because the world is trying to fucking kill us at all times, and we prevail, albeit just slowing down our release schedule of this show. So we're in good shape. We are wrapping up all of Traitors before we move on to Survivor, though. So the Survivor 50 recaps will begin probably around the beginning of next week, kind of laying right into episode 2 of that show.
And I'll give ourselves some credit too. We don't watch it like normal people anymore. We don't watch it. We don't get up and go to the bathroom while it's going on in the background. We're not working while it's on in the background. It is 100% of our brain power looking at the TV. We're pausing it. We're taking notes. We're discussing with each other. So sometimes us watching an hour episode of something can turn into like 2 hours. So it is like a full block of time that we are committed to absorbing, and then also trying to position, trying to articulate, trying to make our own assumptions and predictions in it. So it's a whole thing. It is business when we're watching. So we have to schedule time accordingly.
So this episode kicks off immediately with breakfast.
Post-murder brekkie.
We don't get any like starting off in the turret from the night before, nothing like that. So
get right to it.
Our first two who enter are Maura and Rob. Rob's like always first to arrive, I feel like. I mean, that seems to be going that way for the last couple of days. And Rob's feeling low. Rob is feeling a little blue because of the weight of all of his lying.
It's catching up to him.
And others, but like it's Maura because she keeps emphasizing how much she trusts Rob.
But why is he feeling so bad is my question, right? Because he's had relationships with other people. Dorinda was really close to him. He flat out murdered her. There were many other people he was close to as well. Bros, homeboys with. Why does he feel bad about Maura?
I mean,
could it be perhaps they are doing a fucking?
Because they're fucking?
Right.
Well,
wouldn't you feel bad?
Would
you not feel bad if you were dicking me down in the Motel 6?
I normally don't feel bad about that, no.
But then,
Not a lot of guilt.
No, but you're dicking me down in the Motel 6 across the street from the Traitors Castle because that's where they're staying, and you're then lying to me the next day in front of a bunch of cameras. You'd probably feel bad.
I mean, what is this podcast?
All right.
No, I here's the thing is I didn't think that this was actually happening until last episode when you revealed that they potentially do not stay in the castle overnight. Because I was thinking that they go upstairs to bed and then they are locked in their rooms until a certain time in the day to come downstairs for breakfast. If they are, but I mean, I feel like they're monitored because they shouldn't be talking about gameplay at any point.
Right.
It is interesting that he is the saddest about Maura specifically, but maybe it's he wants to get there after the show, but he knows the way this is going, she's probably going to be very unhappy with him by the end of it.
Maybe.
Like maybe that's what it is. Is like
you don't think they've had a single smooch?
I think that they could have smooched, but that's different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can. I think just one single smooch does not have the weight that he's feeling right now. So I think maybe it's he wants something with her. He wants to get to that level of
But
intimacy.
he lives in Alabama and she is from, is it Ireland? Is she Irish? Or
I think it's Irish. Or maybe it's Welsh. I don't know. She says ting.
UK.
Tink.
General
tink.
UK. General UK. So it's not like, oh, she lives, an hour from him, so they could possibly be a thing. You can barely have the potential of something outside of a game when you're in a dating game, as far as like distance goes.
Here's the thing.
And they're not in a dating game. So
it's a little too late to really be focusing on this because I think it would be a lot more interesting.
On the dick down or what?
I think it would be a lot more interesting if much earlier in the season, we have Rob like catch feelings and then we have the drama of a traitor catching feelings for a faithful and not being able to to be truthful with them and to play together.
Well, I think production wouldn't really necessarily want that.
I think it would be bad for the show.
Because they would have to continuously chase accusations of, well, Rob told Maura if he's fucking her, he definitely told her he's a traitor.
Yeah.
Right.
I think they'd have to protect that.
Right. So I think if Rob wasn't faithful and it was faithful dick down, then it would be allowed. Or traitor dick down.
Traitors have to be celibate unless they're with each other.
Right.
Well, then that comes in the slash fic of Rob and Eric that you're so jazzed about. That's what America wants.
But we have Rob feeling bad because he probably dicked down Maura and is lying to her face about everything else. But we have a clip from her saying that she's proud of herself with the way she's played the game. And she laughs. She actually has a moment where her and Rob are talking about if he was a traitor before anyone else comes to breakfast. And she's basically saying, that she was laughing, saying that she'd die if he revealed at the end that he was a traitor. So, really rubbing his nose in the making him feel bad. And he's just sitting there like, yeah, wouldn't that be crazy?
I mean, seeing some personal stakes, I think is interesting. And it clearly isn't fucking with his game too much, but just bringing it up, I don't know. It's something. It's just a little more... It's more turbulence when he's so very fucking close to the end, which is obviously probably why he's feeling a little more emotional about it. This is where we see Rob yet again palm an entire hard-boiled egg into his mouth.
I can't articulate it. And I've tried to really think about it, really sit with this thought. It does something.
This has been documented.
I know,
on
but
this
I
show.
I can't understand it. I don't know.
Here's the thing. I was thinking about this too. And I was thinking about your primal urges that come with watching Rob.
Well, I feel like if you saw a
An
woman,
entire hard-boiled egg.
if you saw a woman down a hard-boiled egg like that, that could very well equate to someone sucking on your ball
That's
sack.
balls in your mouth is
Yeah.
what that is. Yeah, we don't see anyone else doing this, but we love Rob doing it.
Right.
I mean, Rob could also have balls in his mouth.
I mean, he could, but I'm saying for me specifically, I do not own balls. So therefore, I'm just saying it would make more sense if it was like, yeah.
How many hard-boiled eggs do you think you could eat in one sitting?
Like in my mouth at one time?
No. Just like...
Are they deviled eggs or just
No,
straight hard-boiled?
just the way that Rob
Can I have
takes
salt and pepper?
Sure. You can even have Cholula.
Can I cut them in half?
No.
I have to whole mouth them in one sitting.
Mm-hmm.
Just for my own enjoyment, or like it's a competition? Because that's different. Because if it's a competition, I'm eating a whole carton of eggs.
That's what, a dozen? You think you could do a dozen eggs?
As a competition, yes. If we're just like, LOL, how many can we eat in a, probably like 4.
So
if it's a competition, I'm throwing up.
We've talked before about my past on other shows. Pasts on other shows that included sucking egg yolks through a straw, as many as you could in a certain amount of time. We're recording our recap of the finale of Traitors Season 4, probably tomorrow, as we record this on a Saturday afternoon.
I don't like where this is going.
And now I had originally written down the number of faithfuls that were murdered in this season, which I believe up to this point is 10, maybe 11. But why not make it a dozen? Over the course of our recap of the Traitors finale, I'm going to attempt to eat a dozen hard-boiled eggs.
Oh my God.
Just the way that Rob does. Because I need to defend my honor.
Is this for me?
It's for you, and it's for every boy and girl at home watching, wishing that they could one day do what we do here.
Yeah. I mean, that's maybe where the Patreon comes in. We'll put out a redacted version. You can't see Matt actually shoving the eggs in his mouth, but if you subscribe and pay, then you can see him, like, the egg being inserted.
That's the vision. Jesus, that's the vision for the Patreon, is that we can do more cool, fun, unique shit. But for this particular,
right? Because slurping down a dozen eggs is real cool.
Yeah,
buddy.
it's so awesome. I'm gonna try and get through a dozen eggs, because
so it's not a competition between you and I.
No.
You don't want to see me slurp down eggs.
I don't think you want to be doing that.
I mean, I like a hard-boiled
I'm already
egg.
broken. I've already been doing the stupid shit. I've done the stunts. I've fucking puked on air. I've pissed myself. I've done a power century, and I've slurped egg yolks. You
Through a
don't
straw.
ever have to go down that road. I do this so that you don't have to.
Okay.
It's my sacrifice.
Thank you.
When you're with me, I'm free. I'm careless.
Very chivalrous of you.
So yeah, let's make it an even dozen. We'll get a carton. We have the egg cooker. So easy preparation.
Yeah, you got me that for Christmas.
Yeah. It always comes back to me.
I feel like this is just another incident of you taking my Christmas presents.
I'm defending my own.
He gets me an egg cooker.
Stature.
He has this whole bit planned for cooking eggs and eating 12 of them. He uses my espresso machine. What else do you use? That was
Here's
my
the
gift.
thing. I can't go on Traitors and be the best traitor in the history of the show. As of right now, that is unattainable. They're not casting. Well, I guess they are casting the reg. But who knows how long that would be if I ever made it on that show. So I can't imitate that part of Rob that everyone is so fucking in love with.
Mm-hmm.
But something that I can do is I can wear overalls and I can palm hard-boiled eggs one at a time into my mouth. So I'm gonna try and get through. I think I could do a carton, and maybe we'll have some backups just in case over the course of our recap of the finale coming.
Are there any
next on the
health
feed.
risks with that?
No idea.
I feel
eggs are good for you.
Yeah,
Protein.
it's protein, but I
There's
feel
some
like
cholesterol, but I already got that, so I'm,
yeah.
I have a tolerance for cholesterol.
So we're not going to brunch tomorrow.
No, we'll still go to brunch tomorrow. This will be later in the evening.
That's crazy.
It's protein maxing, dude. Cortisol, protein maxing, what's all the fucking bullshit that's going on Instagram right now.
How about I eat
Creatine?
some in solidarity with you to like collectively we eat a dozen.
No, because I think I could do 6 pretty easily. It's not like I'm doing a dozen in 10 minutes. The shows go like an hour and a half.
Okay.
I think this is what we have to do.
Okay, it's your calling.
I
Maybe I'll slurp down some salmon while you do it.
Yeah, there we go.
I
We
don't
can get some smoked salmon. I need to be back on top. I don't feel like I'm on top right now.
Okay. Like in general with podcasting, or like with my affinity towards Rob?
With this, it all comes back to like this show.
Okay.
I'm not upset about it unless we're doing this show, and then it's all I can think about.
Okay.
I took great offense in the admiration for Rob's
for his intellect,
mental capacity.
Uh-huh.
Yes, that was a bridge too far for me. Go back to the last episode if you didn't hear it. I think this is how I make things right, because I bet you that he can't do a dozen. All right,
we'll
does
have
this
to
sound
see.
good?
Okay, I'll hold you to it.
Mark it down.
I guess we'll be going to the grocery store tomorrow to get
Next
a carton of eggs.
Episode of Backdoors and Blindsides, dozen eggs over the course of the program. Tara is the next person to come into breakfast. She is the first of those who were shortlisted to be murdered.
She comes in by herself.
Right. She is alone, and then Johnny follows. She exclaims with joy when Johnny comes in, because there was so much shit going on surrounding them in the last episode. Neither of them got banished, but it was like almost certain in their minds that someone was going to get killed.
And this was a shock to us because we thought last episode, we were like, okay, if you're a traitor, you have to kill Tara because it disables Johnny. You can bring Johnny in on your side and have, boys club with Rob and Eric and try to get him in because he doesn't have Tara to converse with and to sway him. But they don't do that. And we're like, what the fuck? And at this point, we're like, oh, so they got Natalie. They got Natalie.
Yeah.
Makes sense. No, they got Kristen.
They took the hit.
I
couldn't believe it.
I was a little shocked, but they were saying that Natalie needs to be banished, and they kind of were saving her for that and said that, it is important that we try to get her banished at the next opportunity because she could catch on to our scent that we're traitors. And for a second, I was like, whoa, guys, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Natalie Sniffer, way off, way fucking off. She couldn't smell BO if she had an armpit up to her nose.
But someone who might be more on track is Mark. And I want to point out in that flashback when they say, we see them in the turret, Rob and Eric, they say Natalie needs to get banished next. Rob confidently says that they can convince Mark that it wasn't Eric. Like, and that is, that is like, he is using his alliance with Mark and his history with Mark because Mark also knows that Kristen was suspicious of Eric the night before she was killed.
I mean, I do guess that the same logic that I just applied to Tara and Johnny also could be for Kristen and Mark as well, right? Like you're still disabling him and now you can pull him in closer. So sure, good move, I guess. But this was kind of disabling one of the duos that remain because I would say Mark and Kristen were a duo. We have Tara and Johnny, obviously a duo. If you didn't watch The Last Banishment, you know. And then Rob and Maura, also a duo. And then Rob and Eric, secret traitor duo.
Yes.
But other than that, Eric's kind of on an island. We're not really seeing him interact with a bunch of people.
Eric and Natalie are both on islands.
Yes, Natalie is also on an island. Mark is now as well on an island. Now kind of getting pulled in by Rob a little bit. But it's interesting that we are now left, though, with the Rob and Maura duo and the Tara and Johnny duo. And then the secret Eric and Rob duo. Like, it's kind of duo heavy.
That's, again, something that, like, people kind of forget. Alliances get you far in the game. Whether you're a traitor or a faithful paired up with a traitor or a faithful, alliances are the core of all of these games. Very rarely can you do it entirely on your own.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so that is how all of these people have gotten to where we are. One episode before the finale is they've got these deep rooted alliances.
To me, I'm just interested to see how potentially Rob and Maura go up against Tara and Johnny, and if there is any like, you know, head-to-head combat, so to speak, with those two duos, and then how everyone else feels. Obviously, Eric right now seems like he would side with Rob and Maura. Would Mark side with them, or could Johnny and Tara sway him? Where's Natalie going? Right? So I do think it's interesting, this kind of like balance game that is, I would guess, is going to shake out in the final episode. As
we exit the dining room, Tara is now certain it's not Natalie. She's telling the camera this after their weird back and forth that they've had for multiple episodes now, basically since the banquet episode. She sits down with Natalie in one of the rooms. She is the first person in this season to say Rob's name.
Yes,
as
and I was like,
potential traitor.
And she's been playing horribly.
Yes,
the whole time.
She has been
her only redeeming factor is like me getting to watch her with Johnny as her counterpart. I am really interested in that relationship. I like watching them work together and talk together.
It's been fun watching them on the Olympics,
because we don't have a ton of alliances that happen in Traitors throughout the season. So like seeing those two, like how strong they are together, and being faithful, is knowing that they, from a viewer perspective, can like actually trust each other, is really fun to watch. But other than that, she has been wrong so many times, and I can't believe she was the one that points out Rob.
Yeah, I was very surprised to hear her be not just close, but on the money, instead of suspecting. I mean, even like suspecting Eric, right? Like, I think there's less weight in that because he just became a traitor.
Yeah.
And he has kind of acted differently recently. But she, in fact, says Rob's name.
Natalie's probably like, oh, fuck yeah,
right.
Someone's on my side, hell yeah. And then this idiot lady says, oh, so we should bring in Maura, right? I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? No!
Again.
No!
Alliances.
But
no, exactly.
She's from Survivor. That's where alliances happen. That's where you lie and you backstab and you blindside. Why would you be like, hey, let's take Rob's like number one alliance member and bring him in and bring her in. Makes no sense.
Yeah, it's crazy that was Natalie's idea. You're absolutely right. I didn't write that down.
I would expect the inverse to happen. If you told me this conversation happened, but you didn't tell me who said what, I'd be like, oh, Natalie finally sniffed out Rob. And Tara was the one that said, we should bring in Maura.
And then Natalie would say, no, we can't go to Maura. Let's go to Mark.
They're too close. Yes. What is happening?
Messy.
I couldn't believe it. And then pivoting from that, we have Mark going to Rob and he says, Eric? And Rob has a chance. And we talked about this last time. We're like, does Rob cross Eric? Does he, indoctrinate him into being a traitor and then feed him to the wolves afterwards?
To give that sense of safety going into the finale.
Right. So he has his moment, and I was holding my breath a little bit. I was like, okay, what's he going to do? And he is loyal to Eric. And he goes, I don't really think so. He tries to kind of push it a little bit away from Eric. And I think this is Rob's kind of saving grace right now from a viewer perspective and from like a popularity and like a self-image perspective, because he is so close to being perceived as a villain.
Yeah.
And I think if he were to cut Eric and roll him under, because he already did it with Lisa, he already did it with Candace. There's also some rumors online saying that, oh, he's misogynistic because he got out his fellow female traitors and like didn't listen to them and blah, blah, blah. Now, bringing Eric in as a traitor, as a man, and then now working with him, that doesn't really alleviate him of those accusations,
but it's
if
a
you
fucking
will.
game. It
It
goes back to Lisa shitting the bed,
yes,
and then Candace not playing correctly when that happens.
I'm talking about the dumb viewers.
Okay.
The dumb viewers that are like,
no one who listens to this show.
Yeah. They're like, oh, well, like he's doing it. It's like, well, no, you can point back to like very specific game moves and like his positioning that he's trying to angle in the house and like who's on him versus who's on other people and what's going to look good or bad for him. I think it made sense him moving in the way he did with the two of them. But I'm saying now that he has his third traitor partner, right? Because Donna never got brought into the fold. She was X'd before she could meet the other traitors. He has a chance to, is he going to play the villain? Or is he going to still try to play the good guy? And he's still trying to play the good guy in this. And I think this will save him and build him up for future endeavors because he still has that likability. Because people like Eric.
Yeah.
What's not to like about Eric? So if he was going to go after Eric, then I think that would have been worse. Now, if he were to pull in, I don't even know, like, even like Natalie, a lot of people that have not seen Natalie and other things don't like Natalie. So if he brought Natalie in to like build her up as a traitor and then like throw her under the bus, then like maybe people wouldn't have, but then that would maybe play into more of the dumb misogynistic take because then he would be setting up a woman to then feel bleh, whatever. My whole point being is that him being pro Eric and pro the traitor relationship is saving him from being a complete villain.
It's so awesome too. Like I did like a little cheer when we cut to him after talking to Mark. He's talking to the camera and he says like, I'm legit worried about Eric. Like someone blowing up his spot. I want to, like, he basically says, I want to go to the end with Eric. And I'm like, fuck yeah, dude.
And I love watching people interact with one another on screen. And then I love the splices that go to them sitting in a confessional, just talking one-on-one with the camera. Because when they're in the confessional, 99% of the time, that is their truth that they are speaking. They could be lying to other people. So I'm waiting constantly for them to cut to a confessional and for Rob to be like, you know, I'm lying, like Eric's got to go. But he doesn't. He continues to build Eric up and be like, we're going to do this. So he's being truthful to Eric's face and he's being truthful behind his back, which I think is just kind of also fun to watch.
It's making him a babyface traitor, which I didn't really know was possible. But he's made it possible by just doing right by everyone, only crossing when he has to protect the game of the traitors, even not just his individual game.
Yeah.
Right. It only became his individual game when Candace turned on him.
Right.
So Eric also tells Mark that he is suspicious of Natalie. He's doing his best to just put something out there. And also, this works for Eric as a traitor because it's not that much of a lie. Natalie's name has been thrown around a bunch, written down multiple times for the last couple of weeks on this show.
Again, not his idea. He's repeating other ideas, which what we've said before many times is in the traitor playbook. So then we get Natalie, Maura, and Tara together in a room. And like we said before, they were talking about this being a potential, but I was like, can't be. I see the three of them in a room together. I'm like, oh my fucking God, here we go. Tara and Natalie, what the fuck are you doing? And Natalie kind of just teased it up to Maura, like, so Candace voting Rob, weird, right? That was pretty weird. You think, right? Like I don't know, breadcrumbs maybe. She made weird, right, Maura? And she basically says, no fucking way, bitch. I'm paraphrasing, but basically telling her, there's no way. There's no way Rob's a traitor. There's no way. I'd be upset. I'd cry. I'd die. I'd be mad. I'd blah, blah, blah. There's no way.
Congrats, Tara and Natalie. Job well done.
You just blew your load for no good reason, trying to bring in Maura. She wants nothing to do with it. And this is not going to be good for Maura.
What's amazing is
end.
This is not the biggest fucking awful dumbass fucking mistake that Tara makes in this episode.
No,
which is so crazy because I watch this happen and I go, why would you ever do that? And yet we are still shocked at the roundtable. We'll get there eventually.
She needed to go to Natalie and be like, no, that's not a good idea. Or like, hey, let's try to slowly interject this idea into Maura's subconscious instead of just being like, Rob's a traitor.
How about let's bring in my closest ally on this, Johnny. Natalie, let's go talk to Johnny and see. And I'm not saying that Johnny knows more than they do, but like if Natalie is now playing on your side, go to your open ally, Johnny, and discuss that amongst the three of you and figure out a plan instead of jumping to Maura, which, by the way, doing this before you go to the mission, that doesn't really accomplish anything.
No.
Because you don't know how the cars are going to be. You don't know how the mission is going to go. You have time to talk game at dinner.
Yeah. I just upset over this.
Speaking of, we go to the mission. Starting off the mission segment of the episode with the most egregious, offensive, disgusting Amazon product placement right from the jump.
What was he even? It was the
our boy, the groundskeeper, who was in this season way less than he was in the last season. By the way.
I'm totally blanking on his name right now because he hasn't been in this season like at all. Yeah, he picks up this Amazon box and listen. I don't like the placement. I don't like it. However, Peacock is ad-free. Now, we pay for
premium,
the premium version. So, if that means I don't have to watch commercials and I get this like stupid 10, 15 second, whatever, like subtle quote unquote promo, I'm not that mad about it. However, I think as a kind of talking about streaming and movies and television as a whole, I think we're going to start seeing a lot more of that.
It's going to get even worse.
But from like a marketing and brand perspective, which is what I live and breathe every day, the whole, I guess, like fortune telling future that people are looking at right now in that world is how do we interject brands in a more seamless and natural way. So not these robotic commercials, not like, at like mailers in your mailbox, none of that. What they're going to start doing and what you're going to start seeing most likely is an Amazon movie. I'm not talking about like a movie on Prime. I'm talking about an Amazon, maybe Amazon's a bad example.
They have
but
like Amazon Studios. Is that what you mean? Like they put out movies.
No, I'm sorry. That was a bad example. I'm talking more of like a Target movie.
Oh, like it takes place in Target?
It's Target creates the movie. Target backs the dollars,
God.
but maybe it's the main characters go to Target 3 times throughout the movie and you're seeing the outside of the building, the product placement inside, people mentioning it, but it's still, there's still like a story. There's still, maybe some actors that and love in it. But the underlying premise in what they're actually trying to do is make you go to Target.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to see a lot more of this in the future where you have these very intentional ad placements within the content you're consuming. You can even go on social media right now and see more of that. There's so many times where I'm just scrolling through reels and I come upon this reel and it's like, oh, like, I'm going to show you this, or like you're watching someone do a skit and then all of a sudden it turns into a T-Mobile ad and you're like, what the fuck? How did I start watching a T-Mobile ad? Because it's baked into, almost like a subconscious of a video.
I'm looking forward to Jacob Elordi starring in Emerald Fennell's Target movie where they mop the floor with jizz and the walls are made of foreskin or whatever's going on in that fucking Wuthering Heights movie that everyone's going to see. That's what's next. Yeah. That fucking sucks, but I think you're right. It is inevitable. And I think that Peacock's not a part of this big acquisition that just happened. They're kind of on an island because the reason that we're seeing this shit in these, premium streaming platforms now is like the bubbles burst. There's too many products. So everyone's
like craft brewing.
Everyone's paying for different shit and then passing their passwords around. You know what I mean? Like I don't subscribe to Peacock because I got HBO. There's so much shit on HBO.
They're kind of cracking down on that though.
Right. Well, but like
about password sharing.
The point is like, we're subscribing to one thing. HBO has all this good stuff, so I don't need to worry about Paramount. Or I have Paramount for all these shows, and like I'm just not as big and like into what Netflix is offering, right? Like all of these. That's how the bubble has burst. I mean, it's like what happened to craft beer here in like the Northern Virginia area, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that we are going to see more of it for that reason. It just is always, it's a dick punch to see in something that I think otherwise is a very well presented show and the whole thing about Traitors is like, it maintains this great illusion. It's why I was fucking devastated in the last episode when you said that they probably go to a hotel. That's like part of the main appeal of Traitors is it never looks like a set. We never see a camera. We are in this movie. It's more immersive than Survivor is, and Survivor takes place in the fucking jungle. And
but sometimes Applebee's is in the jungle.
Right. And I'm so impressed by that. So I think that's also why it was so jarring, because we're used to such a great looking presentation of the Traitors. Anyways, fuck Bezos and his fuck face, and go to brick and mortars if you can help it. I don't know. I don't want to preach, but I hate seeing Amazon boxes in my TV shows, man.
Only for my front door, not on my TV.
Yeah. So we have two very interesting car rides. We're down to 2 cars going to the mission now. Tara tells Johnny and Natalie in the car that she is sure about Rob. So we've gone from being suspicious to being positive in a very short amount of time. From breakfast to the mission, can't be that long. And then in the other car, we have Maura telling Eric, Mark, and Rob about Tara and Natalie throwing Rob's name out. Like, what did you think was going to fucking happen? So this is obviously Kill Bill sirens going off for Rob and for Eric. Mark is in an interesting spot because he has lost his allies left and right. However, he's now with the people that he was closer with compared to the other car.
Sure.
So you're taking in all this information and it's like, do you roll with it? How do you behave in the conversation? Do you condemn that? Obviously, you don't want to agree with them when you're the odd man out in this situation. But again, I said this last episode, like Mark keeps popping into these very unique situations that I think it takes a lot of instinct to handle correctly. Especially when you're not really making a move, you just have to sit there and nod and listen, but you have to agree in like all the right ways.
And it's important to note too that these players know that there's still a traitor, and very highly likely traitors, plural, left in the game.
Mm-hmm.
This is their last banishment to get a traitor out and know that they're getting a traitor
and confirm,
out.
Right.
Because what's going to happen next episode is that you're going to banish people and they're not going to reveal themselves at the end. So you don't know if you're getting a traitor or a faithful out, which makes the game more challenging.
Final banishment does not stand in the circle of truth. They just peace out.
It is crucial that they get a traitor out, because if they don't, then they're fucked. The faithfuls are fucked.
Yep.
And they will continue to be fucked.
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, in the finale, when we're all standing around the pit and throwing our colored smoke, they can banish people if they want, if they don't all agree, but it has to be agreed upon. So
to banish?
Right.
No, it has to be agreed upon to end the game.
Okay, right.
If it's all green smoke, then we're all good. We're going to end the game. Hopefully we're all faithfuls or all traitors or whatever. But if one person throws in a red bag of smoke or whatever the fuck they're throwing in there, then it means total takeover control. We have to go to a banishment. Right.
And going into that with 2 traitors is really hard to come out of.
Yeah.
So that's
not looking good for the faithfuls.
That's what's at stake here for the faithfuls. The mission itself is kind of, we pointed out some similarities between like missions this season and last season. Mm-hmm. This one kind of ties into like the funhouse with the killer clowns. Mm-hmm. This is kind of like a haunted, fucked up carnival. We have all of these like carnival game stands with all these prizes, stuffed animals hanging down from the ceilings. And then there's a spinning carousel. They have to strap into the spinning carousel, kind of like an amusement park ride. And then once it stops spinning, they must run to various prize stands and rip open stuffed animals at these prize stands, looking for hidden bags of gold to bring back. You need a bag of gold to get back on the ride.
What's your thought about carnivals and fairs?
I love them.
Did you go?
Dude, oh yeah. We had one. It was weirdly enough, I think it was put on by like the Catholic Church where we lived in Tampa, in Valrico, Florida. And that one every year was like $20 for the unlimited wristband. That shit was the bomb. I mean, I was like a rides kid growing up, so I loved waiting in line for rides and like getting to making sure that I hit every single ride at the event.
Matt loves waiting in lines.
Honestly, and dude, that's all I did. Like, I really was like an hour and 20 minutes for something at fucking Busch Gardens. I was so game for it. I never turned down a ride for the wait time.
I'm talking about carnivals and fairs specifically, not amusement parks. Because like I loved amusement parks. We grew up going to like Hershey and Busch Gardens. But I was never allowed growing up to ride on the carnival rides.
Of course you weren't.
My mom would not let me.
Not even like a Ferris wheel?
No, I think the first time I was on a Ferris wheel was as an adult with you.
When was that? Like, wait, we went to a carnival like 2 or 3 years ago. We went to the one over by the Alamo Draft House around here.
Yeah.
On like a date.
That may have been my first time.
That was your first time? We did like the spinny cup
yeah,
ride?
that was my first time doing actual carnival rides.
Holy shit.
I mean, I was a game person.
We were like 26.
Yeah, but it was okay growing up. Like my mom's like, those are dangerous. People die on those. And I was like, well, I don't want to die. But I'm super competitive. So I loved the squirter target games. Fastest one gets the plushie prize.
The water guns.
Yeah, water guns.
The ring toss.
I love the ring toss, or like the throw a ball, knock over some milk bottles kind of thing. Now, the one that I really liked, which I was never really allowed to do, was the fish one, which I don't agree with from like a humane perspective. But
what is the fish one?
Like you like throw something in like a ping pong ball in like a fish bowl, and if you get it in, you get the fish.
Oh, there's like actual fish in the bowls?
Yeah.
I don't even know if they do that anymore now.
They probably
probably crack
have you
down on
have
it.
you seen one of those things? There's no laws in a carnival.
That's true.
No laws.
Yeah. God, I fucking love
Except
it.
insert your ticket, redeem ride / game / prize.
I can't wait to go. We're gonna go this year. We're gonna do the Fairfax one and the Loudon one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, like the state fair. Because
No,
the one we went
just
to
the ones that there's one by the mall in Fairfax and there's one over here by the Alamo. That's the one. Those we're gonna do both of those.
Yeah.
We're gonna do all the rides, play the games, eat all the shit.
And all the corn dogs. Wait, did we just say corn dogs at the same
time? Yeah, we did.
Because I have like this mental image of us getting food at the end of the time, us being at the carnival, and you just absolutely deep throating a corn dog in the car.
One of my favorite things to consume in the world.
Yeah.
Is a fresh corn dog.
Under the darkness of the car, but the one light was on, and you're just slathering that thing and mustard, and you're just going to town on the corn dog.
So on our premiere of Survivor 50 recap, I'm going to attempt to eat 12 corn dogs.
Oh my God.
In the time that it takes to record the show. No,
I think that would just be like rice. You'd be
yeah, it would have to be
upsetting amount of
Survivor
rice.
coded. So the last remaining player, Alan says the last remaining player gets a shield, although you're not really told how to be the last remaining player in this challenge at this point.
And he also says that Eric and Tara can't participate
due
to medical reasons. You cannot ride on the ride because of medical, like pre-established medical, which at first I was like, it's spinning. That's what Tara did as an Olympian. She would jump in the air and spin a bunch of times and then land and continue to skate. So what do you mean she can't? Which I get, there's like other things that could cause that, but I was like a little jarred by that one specifically. And then I was like, what the fuck is going on with the Traitor Game Masters?
Oh, wait, hang on.
It's time to attack
Peacock
production on Backdoors and Blindsides.
With the Traitor Game Masters for not constructing a game that your entire cast can do. We are down to what, 8 people now? 8, right? Am I wrong?
I think
8?
that's right.
That means 2 people sitting out. That's 25% of your cast cannot participate in this game fully and equally. What the fuck, guys? It'd be different if this was at the very beginning. We had 24 people playing a mission together, and it's like, okay, still a little weird and annoying, but like less percentage of people, right? Guys, so they have these like dummy people that are strapped into the rotating ride.
They have like Eric and Tara wigs on. It's fun.
It's fun. It's funny. And they have to sit over to the side and like it looks like chairs that are the same as on the ride. And then when everyone's unstrapping to run and be dizzy as they run through this field with all these like stuffed animals tied up in dangling from places in these like carnival vignettes, they have to run over and grab their dummy and put them back in the chair that they were once sitting in, which at first that was not explained. And so I was sitting there, I'm like, Tara and Eric have these huge advantages by not being dizzy.
I think even the so-called handicap of having to move your dummy in and out of the seat, I think that's still way easier than spinning and spinning and spinning and then having to run and fucking find something.
Yes, but at the same time, how long are you going to be disoriented for? Maybe the first like 10, 15 steps you're taking, and then you kind of balance out, I would guess, after that. But you're seeing everyone going to run, and Tara and Eric are nowhere to be seen because they have to do that extra step. So I'm like, at first, my first thought was, this is a huge advantage for them, for Tara and Eric. And now I'm like, wait, hold on, this is a disadvantage for them. So I was just pissed about the construction of the challenge. And I'm like, guys, pick something else. Pick something else.
I think, yeah, because if we had these dummies made up, then it seems like we knew that this was going to happen, that they weren't going to have to participate in this. So like, why don't we fucking just create a different game?
You can still have the challenge of them having to run through a field and having to rip open the stuffed animals. Just the beginning part needs to be something different.
I do think it was an advantage for Tara and Eric, and specifically Eric, because he
won the shield.
He wins, and here's why.
And we were this close from having Tara and Eric being the last ones,
right,
which we could not have happen for the sake of production, right? Because then I'd be like, yeah, for sure it was then, rigged, so to speak.
So here, let's just quickly go through the happenings of the mission, and I'll explain why I think that Eric won due to a huge advantage. This starts, and Johnny is dropping figure skating tips to like the whole group.
He said, cross your eyes.
He said, yeah, like your eyes naturally cross. Like, huh. I think that was cool. So I just love, I think I want more Johnny in like my TV shows, like I do think that he's a great personality and he has this really interesting background. I love when people can pull from like things that you know them from and make that appeal to the entire show. Rob is the last to return after the first round, and there's a missing seat, and we find out that this is basically it's like
forgot
musical
to tell
chairs.
You something.
Yeah, and so there's going to be a seat removed every time. He puts on a show, and he really fries Mark for getting on first with a low amount of gold, because he had like a high amount of gold. I don't know if he grabbed like the 2,500 on purpose or not, but he really kind of makes a big fuss about it.
Well, last episode, we saw the Traitors working together to kind of undermine production's intention for the game.
Yes.
Which was, we're going to collaborate and we're just going to have, it's going to be, the answer is going to be Tara, Tara, Tara every single time, and not actually answer the question for what it is.
So they sacrificed the money for the sake of the game.
But I feel like they also could have undermined production here and be like, hey guys, we're going to go out after the first round where we know people are going to, not have a chance anymore. We're going to go out and we're going to find all of them. We're going to find all of the gold and we're going to put it on the ground and we're going to decide as a group who gets the shield. Could have done it that way too, right? Because we can undermine production's games.
Damn, that's a good point. That's probably why they withheld some of that, to start. But this is where Rob, he's like really starts like kicking the dirt, and now he's mad. He tells the camera he's mad because he wants to make sure that the shield goes to either him or Eric to obviously secure the Traitors' moves in the very last part of this game. But yeah, it's weird. And then he's like, oh, I'm not mad at you or whatever. It is like one of the first instances where he's like showing real like frustration and anger in these challenges. And Natalie gets hip to this. And she thinks that he is putting on a show. He's never been worried about getting a shield. Because Rob's whole thing is he's like, sorry, I'm freaking out. I don't want to get killed tonight. So it's a little messy. And
right, because he's been cool, calm, collective guy the whole time. And now something is weird. Why?
And this is just like, it's just kind of the first time that he's just getting a little loose with it, right? And I mean, dude, if you play as well as he's played for this long, it does get hard. It doesn't get easier. It gets harder. Like,
Yeah.
as much as you've been winning, the hardest part is going to be like these next 2 days in the castle, essentially.
But we do have Natalie during this mission actually doing something that I was rooting for. I was like, thank you, Natalie. I've been wanting to be on your side this entire time. And she actually starts playing the game in a strategic and positive way. She starts helping Maura because Mara's like, I can't open this. I'm just a British girl or UK adjacent, and I cannot have the strength to open this thing, and I am weak, and I am cute, and I wear big hats, and I look like Mario, but I cannot rip this plushie open. And Natalie's like, girl, I got you, with her big ass biceps and pecs, and she's like, I bet I'm gonna help you. And she does this intentionally. She says to the camera that she's trying to get Maura in her good graces should people start pitching Natalie's name at banishment.
Great move.
Yes. Now you're playing.
Something that you should have been doing days ago.
Yes.
If you're Natalie.
Yes, but just I will give her points where she can get them because she doesn't have a lot this season. So I was actually happy to see her trying to strategize some here in a positive, meaningful way.
So Maura gets out, Johnny gets out, Mark gets out. They take 2 chairs out. We have Natalie and Tara out next, and Eric gets the final shield. And this is where let's go back to where I realized that I think this was a huge advantage for Eric, and it's not why you think. It's not that he didn't have it's not that he wasn't dizzy. We saw there was one quick cut of Eric and Tara sitting in their seats, presumably while the others are spinning, and Eric looks locked the fuck in, looking out into the carnival. And what Eric is doing, I believe, is he is looking very hard to find his next bag of gold. He's trying to really eyeball the stuffed animals and figure out where he's going next. That's something that the rest of the people on the spinning carousel do not get to do because you can't focus on anything, right? So I think that he could have very well gotten the shield because he was spending that entire game looking out there for where the shield would be.
Sure.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And I think that's where there is a flaw in this challenge and the way that they handle it.
Of course there is. I was pissed that 25% of the cast had to sit out of a challenge at this late stage of the game.
Not when the stakes are this high.
No.
That's the biggest problem here. We get in the cars to go back to the castle. First car is once again Maura, Mark, Eric, and Rob. They're saying target Natalie. Makes sense. This has been kind of the plan from the beginning.
That's what the Traitors want.
It's what the Traitors want. It makes sense to the castle as well. She has been acting very suspicious, and her name's been flown around almost from the start. We get in the car with Natalie, Johnny, and Tara. And
I like Jana, though, as their joint name, Jana.
They are aligned, and they all say, we're targeting Rob tonight. And this is the first time this season that there is a plan to move on Rob.
Good job, guys. You have a traitor. You have a traitor this close. You don't know it yet. And you're right there, and you're actually being a little strategic.
What's amazing is, and you mentioned this when we were watching last night, what's amazing is in this moment, we realize Johnny and Tara are fucking good. They're not on anyone's mind.
Yeah, I was like,
going into this round
last
table.
episode, all we could talk about was Johnny and Tara.
Crazy.
They're on everyone's radar. Who do we vote for? Is it better to get Johnny out? Is it better to get Tara out? They're both being floated around. And then now, all of a sudden, poof, we're getting Rob's name thrown out. We're getting Eric's name thrown out. Natalie's getting thrown out. I'm like, what is happening? How did they dodge this bullet?
And what's crazy is Kristen called Tara out in front of everyone and said, I'm marked for death because I told Tara this morning that I suspected her. This all happened last episode. So Kristen made a very convincing case that Tara could be a traitor. And then all of that gets killed with her.
Yeah.
Which I was very surprised again. And it's not like that would be the right answer, but I was shocked that we just completely left this alone. Now, to be fair, half of the other car is Traitors, so they're going with anyone but us.
Yeah, sure.
They're like, Natalie, sure, makes sense.
Listen, This is where I have a scenario, which I presented to you in the middle of the episode before we had finished it. But I do think it's still valid here now today, even seeing the whole episode, where if people are playing with a strategic mindset, they would just get Eric out. He got a public shield. It wasn't like we don't know who got it. We don't know who has it. No, he secured the shield in front of everyone. The name of the game at this point in time is to get to the final fire pit, right?
Yeah.
That's what you're angling. Now you're angling for that the whole game, but now it is pressure's on. I don't want to go home last minute before the finale, right? You got to get there. There's 8 people left in the game. And let's assume that we are a faithful. Pick any one of them. We're going to be a faithful. There's 8 people left in the game. We're going to guess that 2 people are traitors. People have been saying that for a couple banishments now, since Candace, even Alan is saying traitors, plural. We think there's multiple traitors out there. Probably no more than 2. Could be 1, but really we're probably thinking 2. So we're going to put 2 fingers down. We have 6 players left, right? You're one of 6 that could be murdered, right? And Eric's shield does not help him at the banishment. It only helps him at the murder, right? So it would make the most sense for odds and strategy to get Eric out, no matter if he's a traitor or not. Whether he's a faithful, whether he's a traitor. Because if you get him out, then that means you are now one of 5 that could be going home in the final murder of the season. But if Eric survives the banishment, then you're going to have someone banished. So there's still 5 players, but only 4 could be up for murder. And we're just assuming we're faithful. We don't know if Eric's a traitor or not. But if he is sitting there for the murder with a shield, that means me as a faithful, as Mark or Tara or Johnny, the percentage of me going home just skyrocketed.
Good point.
Right?
And no one
talks about this.
Is there anyone, let's think back to the cast of this whole season. Because that's cutthroat. That is, you're thinking on...
I'm playing 4D chess right now.
So many deeper levels than a lot of these current faithfuls are.
No, they're just like, yay, Eric got a shield. Congrats, Eric.
Who do you think would have been... Because clearly, it's not Natalie. Who do you think would have been capable of drawing that conclusion?
Probably Jam.
Jam?
Probably.
Ian?
Who?
Yeah, right.
Unfortunately,
Poor Ian.
He would have been able to call that, but he had to survive the first murder. So that doesn't even... You're maybe like a Boston Rob would have been able to call it. Parvati definitely would have been able to call that.
Gamer.
Yeah, Natalie's our last official capital G gamer, but we can't rely on her for shit.
Tough.
So couldn't be her thinking that. But I'm like, guys, the writing's on the wall for Eric. The bonus would be that he's a traitor. You got a traitor out, right? I would just be like, no, we're going to get the guy with the shield out because that means that I have a higher chance of not being murdered because the traitors have multiple people to pick from.
They could have
Why
done
aren't
it.
we doing that? Why aren't we thinking like this, guys?
Well, don't worry. They make a much smarter decision going into this round table.
Perfect.
It's way more big-brained. Let's talk dinner really quick. Natalie pulls Mark in alongside Tara and seems to, I wouldn't say convince him, but seems to open his mind a little bit to the idea of Rob being a potential traitor. Mark, we've said before, clearly is a strategic player. I mean, at this point, you have to start looking around and thinking about what could be wrong, what could you be missing, right? And that's how the Faithfuls won last time, is they really started to realize what are we missing, and they were turning on the people that they were aligned with. Johnny goes to Eric, says Natalie is pushing Rob. We might be moving on Rob tonight. Interesting though, he doesn't say that we're moving on Rob. He says Natalie is pushing for Rob. Eric protects Rob.
Which really though, it was Tara's idea.
Right.
And Tara's light bulb moment which is fine. That's fine. But now we have positioned Natalie to be the one that is leading the charge now against Rob.
This is when we get another Johnny and Tara moment where they squirrel away and they have their secret, not so secret anymore conversations. Johnny admits to Tara, we were all in on Natalie being a traitor. Tara's now saying that she hears her honesty as a faithful and is no longer unsure. Because the way that Johnny's going back to Tara, basically saying, like, we could still move on Natalie tonight. Like, that still could be an option. Tara is unsure. She's waffling. This is where Johnny calls out her gamer background. But he also does suspect Rob. So it sounds like they're going into this roundtable not really sure how they want to vote.
But the scale is tipping towards Rob.
Right.
And it's the thing that has been fueling a lot of the conversations lately. Like, and a lot of things Tara has been saying about Natalie has been like, I don't think so. Probably not. So Natalie in Tara and Johnny's mind at this very moment is, Natalie probably not. Rob probably, yeah.
We make our way into the roundtable room, I guess, whatever it's called.
And right before we do that too, Tara is in a confessional being like, I'm going to be quiet tonight. And I don't know what's happening. So then we all sit down at the round table and then Tara kicks us off again.
Yes.
I'm like,
Tara
what?
starts the second night in a row and says what I think is maybe
It's
the
such
dumbest
bullshit.
thing anyone has ever said in the Traitors, and it could go down in just history in this type of television. She announces to the class, I'm just going to sit back and let it all happen tonight because I don't want to be wrong. And I have my suspicions, but I don't want to be responsible for accidentally sending a faithful home. So ignore me. The day after, she was so close to being sent home.
And was arm in arm with Johnny, like, look, we're best buds. Fooled you guys, but now we're together.
Defended herself, like laid it all out, left it all out on the fucking field, got aggressive for maybe the only time that she ever did. And then this is her comeback. This is her part 2. This is her sequel. She just says, I'm good.
I think the reason she did this is because people like Eric more recently, but others in the past too, have been accused of being a traitor because they're quiet at the round table. So she's like, no, don't worry, guys. Don't worry. I'm going to start us off tonight. I'm talking, right? I'm talking at the round table at the banishment, so you can't say I didn't do that. So I'm talking to tell you that I am not going to talk. What? Ludicrous.
It's
but this is not
crazy.
the only crazy thing that she does tonight at the banishment. So Natalie is trying to, yes, very publicly lead this charge against Rob. And she's like, y'all, I'm not doing this by myself, which is important for Natalie to articulate. Because if Natalie's just coming guns blazing at Rob for no reason and everyone's like, huh, what? That would be very much traitor tendencies.
Right. Well, and what happens?
Pull something out in thin air and like have a big blind side at the round table. Rob, it's you. And Rob's like, oh, I didn't know. Blah.
And the reason Natalie has the floor is Rob actually chimes in pretty soon after Tara and says, hey, I'm suspicious of Natalie. Recently, like you said, we've been close and recently we felt distant. I thought this was a good move.
But Natalie's like, yeah, I also feel that.
Correct. But I think that when you're a traitor, you have to tread so carefully in accusations that you make both at and around the round table. And this keeps it all based around Rob's personal experience. You're not saying I saw you do this. Like it gets messier the bigger the lie or the accusation
like,
gets.
It still doesn't sit right with me the way that you like stole the potion.
Right. It comes down to, he says, it feels differently. And then Natalie says, well, it feels, but here's the thing. Even though she throws that back at him, it's too late because he said it first.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's a Michael Rappaport. You're a traitor.
No, I don't think it is though. Not to that level, because she is a part of this cohort to get Rob out. She's just being the most vocal about it. So she takes a moment to say, hey, this isn't just me. Like, it's also stemming from like Tara saying that like maybe Candace was leaving breadcrumbs. Yeah. So she was trying to bring Tara back into the conversation to be like, I need some backup here because he's attacking me and we're supposed to be trying to vote for him. And Tara basically was like, whoa. Don't bring me into this. If you don't remember from just 5 minutes ago, I said that I'm not talking at the round table tonight. So I don't want to be pulled back into it. So then it's just a horrible like concoction of people, because you have Tara who is flip-flopping and now basically throwing Natalie under the bus, which like makes no sense to me. What the fuck happened there, Tara? You're supposed to be working with Natalie. You're the one who gave her the idea. You were supposed to be working with Johnny. You were supposed to be working with trying to get this idea out, spread it around other people in the house. But the horrible concoction part comes in from Natalie's side too, because she's had a horrible take and has been so wishy-washy this entire game that it makes sense people aren't trusting her. So of course people are looking at Natalie being like, Rob, really? You've been wrong about everything this whole game. Why should we trust you now?
And Mark, takes a shot at her as well. He says all the other gamers have been killed off. That'd be a great move for you as a gamer. Right? Like it comes all the way back down to like, who have you been trying to pin it on this whole time? We said Jam, we said Natalie, people who could be framed as trying to get their biggest competitors out, in their eyes as they start out this entire process.
I just think Natalie got done so dirty this entire round.
Yeah.
She thought she was coming in and everyone was going to create this human wall and link arms and be merry and be like, yes, we're all voting Rob, except for Rob and maybe Maura. And now it's turned into, she's sitting there like, oh shit, it's me tonight. Something happened and it's me tonight. So now she is panicking.
Tara stonewalling Natalie in the moment where she needed her backup the most to corroborate the Rob theory and the Rob attack. That decision, and I stand by this, mark my words, as our finale recap comes out soon, that decision is what officially lost this game for the Faithfuls.
Oh, 100%. Because if you go back to even what I said earlier in this episode, they needed to get a traitor out tonight in order to have a good shot of like unknowingly banish a traitor in the next round where they don't know that for the reveal. The Natalie leaving because that's what everyone voted for. Rob used his dagger against Natalie. It was all Natalie, and Natalie was the only one that did Rob. And I was like, guys, what the fuck are we doing?
Well, and what's crazy is this could have gone, it could have had the same result of Natalie's banishment, but it could have very well been orchestrated and directed and owned by Rob and Eric. They didn't have to work nearly as hard as they probably thought they would because Johnny and Tara just sat there and let it happen. And that's where I'm saying like that it is, I think it points to being their direct fault if the Faithfuls lose this game, whether they're still in it or not when they go outside to the fire pit.
At this point though, as like a fan of just the game in general, like I said before on one of our last episodes, like, oh, I like rooting for Johnny and Tara. At this point, I'm like, guys, you were so close. And you're making it hard to root for you. And I mean, who am I going to root for? That's a Faithful. I'm not rooting for Maura because, spoiler alert, I can't remember. I saw it on Threads. I can't remember who said. I want to say Bob the Drag Queen on his podcast had mentioned, I'm pretty close, that's who said it, said that Maura had no idea what Traitors was. She walked on to the set of Traitors and had no idea how to play the game. Honestly, and what was going on.
That I kind of believe that because there were a couple roundtables where Maura would throw out like one vote that no one else was voting alongside with.
Oh yeah, but then the audacity, jumping a little bit ahead here to after the banishment, Maura tells Tara that she needs to start playing the game. I'm like, bitch, it's the last episode. We're on the last little bit here. You can't be telling someone to start playing the game now at this point. She could have used that advice a week ago.
No, you say Tara.
And you, Tara, having no experience and having no idea what the fuck is going around and just busy sucking down Rob's dick while he's sucking down eggs. Now you're telling someone to start playing the game? I just Dumb and Dumber interacting at that moment. I was like, God damn. So I'm not rooting for Maura to win. She's going to be blindsided by Rob. I do feel bad for her about that specifically. I'm not really rooting for Tara and Johnny now because they done fucked themselves in this last banishment and for no reason just fucked over Natalie. I'm like, guys, what are we doing here? And so Mark, I guess I'm rooting for Mark is the only faithful, but no, at this point in the game, I am 100% rooting for Rob and Eric to win and hoping that they can cobble this last episode together and figure it out together and split the money.
Let's get through the vote and then have our finishing points on what you just said, because
that was my finishing point. Sorry. I was getting real heated
I've
there.
got something that I want to touch on as well. But Natalie is sent home. What happens?
And she tells Johnny, don't tell me sorry when you flip your... I know you're voting for me, Johnny. I know you're about to vote for me. Don't say sorry when you do it.
Right. Natalie votes for Tara. Rob votes second, which I thought was weird that they had Rob with the dagger vote
because
second.
They knew it didn't matter.
I guess you're right. So that's 2 votes for Natalie, and then Mark, and then Tara, and then Maura all vote for Natalie. That's what sends her home. Johnny and Eric flip their tiles over. They had also written her name down. So it was a unanimous vote against Natalie. And yeah, she really fucking digs into Johnny right before she leaves. And this is when the vibe is catastrophic, because they realize that they're about fucked. And Mark is clearly so frustrated because he seems to care the most about the strategic side of this game, at least on the faithful side. Tara announces to the group, I don't want to play anymore. I'm okay with being murdered tonight. Dude.
She's just making it worse for herself from a viewer experience. Like, now I'm like, great, I hope you are, because if you're sitting there being like, I don't want to be in this game anymore, then good. Then like, bye.
Let him go.
Yeah. I have no respect for people in these types of games that are like, I want to leave. Going back to like Kenny from 2 seasons of Big Brother ago.
Kenny or whatever.
Yeah, he's like, I miss my family. I want to go. Then stop fucking crying about it and being a big boy and take yourself out if that's how you truly feel. Don't fucking parade around and be like, I just want to leave. I just want to go. Because guess what? I don't want to fucking split the money with you anyways. One less person for me to give away my potential prize money to. Bye.
It's gotta just I almost heard the sigh of exasperation from everyone behind their cameras when she said that. You know, Alan just going like, fuck me, dude, come on. Like, that's not, and I honestly, I'm kind of surprised that they leave it in. I guess it is like a big dramatic moment for her.
Yeah.
But I'm like,
I have zero respect for it.
Well, it tears down the entire base of the show.
Well, because you're like, I want to go home, but like, I want to go out honorably. So like, at least let me be murdered. Like, at least let it be through the normal course of the show, right? Who cares? Like, if you don't want to be here, then go. No one's holding you hostage. I'm sure there would have been someone else that would have loved to have been on this show. And there's a difference between being in a confessional and sobbing and being like, this is so hard. I don't know which way's up or down. Like, it's hard for me to be here. Like, talking about your struggles is different. Flat out saying, murder me tonight, traitors. Take me home. It's the same as being in Big Brother or Survivor. Be like, guys, vote me out tonight. Well, no, be a big grown up. Stop being a little bitch and asking for people to like honorably discharge you. If that's how you're feeling, fucking get out.
Imagine being Ron and watching what just happened. Talk about who's the person from this season that got the rawest of the raw deals. It was Ron.
Ron the raw dog.
And dude, he fucking stuck
raw dog and Ron.
He stuck it out even in his last roundtable. He still, I mean, and you could tell that he was deflated.
Yeah.
But he still played. He still performed. And I don't know, man. That's where I think I felt the most, I guess, disdain for Tara in that moment. Is I'm like, well, what about fucking Ron? Like that, like then how is it okay what happened to him if like anyone can just say, I don't want to play anymore, kill me or banish me or whatever.
Yeah.
It sucks.
She had 3 strikes this episode, and I was like, I can't root for you.
Kind of an all-timer bad performance.
Yeah. I guess I'm still a little bit maybe rooting more so for Johnny, because he really just kind of voted with the house, so to speak.
Well,
but like
I want to break down the nature of their votes and their decision making. But first, Mark actually consoles Tara, and he's walking out with her and Johnny.
More than I would have done. I would have been like, they're there with a broom, like that meme.
Rob, he touches base with Maura. I think Johnny comes in at one point. They talk as well. Rob leaves the room. He finds Mark laying across the pool table, staring up at the ceiling. Rob and dude, like Rob does so many things that just make him clearly such like a likable friend. And I do think it's intentional, because I see him, hop up onto the pool table and do the same thing, just lay back. I'm just like, fuck yeah, dude.
I know, where they're like, kiss.
Kiss. And Rob and Mark tells him those were real tears. I do not suspect Tara anymore. And then he points out Eric said nothing. And now this is the second time in a row. I think that Mark is going back to Kristen's suspicions now that it's the second time in a row that Eric was super quiet at the round table. And Johnny says to the camera, I think there are 2 traitors remaining, and I think they're Rob and Eric. And so Johnny is the first one to fully call it the way that it is.
And that's when I definitely ended that episode applauding him. I'm like, thank God someone has some redeeming take or strategy
There's
or
still
thought.
a threat left.
Yeah. However, this next time, like, the faithfuls are out for traitor blood every single banishment. They know that there are traitors left in this game. The thing though is they're not going to know if they get a traitor out or not. So it is the traitor's responsibility in this final finale episode to make sure that they convince the rest of the faithfuls, whoever they get out, yeah, they had to have been a traitor. They had to have been, right? We don't need to keep voting people out. They had to have been a traitor. So the game slightly changes specifically for the traitors, because the faithfuls are, yes, still bloodthirsty for a traitor, but they won't be satiated, because they won't know if they've just killed another traitor or if they have, banished another fellow faithful.
Before we move to the turret, which is the final part of the show, I want to talk a little more about the motivation behind Tara and Johnny voting the way that they did, and Tara behaving the way that she did. Obviously, like the I don't want to get it wrong thing, it's a cop-out. But we said last episode, if they had killed Tara, they could isolate Johnny and go, Johnny, we believe that you're a faithful, and then you have his vote no matter what. I think what happened here is Johnny and Tara were under such intense investigation, suspicion, etc. in the last episode.
They're gassed.
They woke up. No, I think they woke up the next morning and they hear Rob, they hear Natalie. Oh, good. We're out of the spotlight. So what's an easier case? If they want to vote, they're all saying Natalie, so we'll just vote for them. I mean, that's what it is. They didn't vote Natalie just because they didn't want to get it wrong or whatever. I think that they were both absolutely terrified. And now what I want to know is, I would love to have seen Rob cite this somewhere where he says, I know that Tara and Johnny are going to vote with the majority no matter what, because they're just going to be happy that their names are not being flown around at this round table, because that's what happened, whether it was orchestrated by the traitors or not.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And so I think that is at its core what happened. And so it shows, like I said, it probably lost the game for the rest of them because they were playing out of fear, and they were just playing into the, well, better you than me as long as my name isn't out there. And at a certain point, that's not going to work for you anymore.
This just feels like we're watching, and have been watching, a runaway traitors win. There's no way that Rob doesn't win, right?
We have said basically and we'll see how the finale shakes out, but we have said from the beginning, or really over the last couple of weeks, I guess, it's been the Faithful's game to lose. This entire time, it felt like Why do you think that is? Why are the faithfuls playing so badly?
I feel like you have an answer, so I'm just going to let you.
Because
Why, Matt?
Because you could argue some of the strongest faithfuls that were cast in the show were killed right away because of their skill.
Yeah.
Ian was killed right away. Rob was killed right away. They killed Jam pretty early. You know? I think that they targeted the biggest threats as faithfuls so early that even the better faithfuls didn't have time to catch up before they were the ones that got killed or banished. Because you get the strongest faithfuls out at the very start before you get to banishments, right? Then you have the good, you know, we'll say like the best faithfuls got Rob and Ian, we could say, you know, could arguably be the best faithfuls because of their backgrounds. And then you have the good faithfuls, and then you have the bad faithfuls. The bad faithfuls will, as designed, eat the good faithfuls alive because they don't know how to do it. So I think that we might have just, in this season, we might have discovered the winning formula for the Traitors, which is, dude, it's, you know, it's pass the ball to Messi. It's give the ball to Derrick Henry. It's do what makes the most sense on paper and kill the best Traitors. Kill the biggest threats.
Look at him think. Look at him think over there. And then he's gonna eat a bunch of hard-boiled eggs for me tomorrow.
We got it.
Ooh, he's back on.
All for you, all for the kids at home. I think that's it. And I think that's how Rob has won this game. And I mean, Eric is the right choice as a traitor, but I'm watching all of this and I think this all comes from Rob making the right calls. And maybe we can even give a little credit to Donna as well, because those first couple murders, she was writing their names down. Let's get to the turret before we wrap things up here. We arrive at the turret and here comes Alan. Alan in my favorite fit of his.
It kind of scares the shit out of him.
It looks so good. Yeah, I know, because dude, it's tense, right? It's more tense than it's ever been. Alan comes with the twist, and the twist is once the two of them decide who gets murdered, everyone will be summoned outside of the castle, and that person will be publicly murdered in front of the entire group.
As the last murder by the Traitors
Correct.
of the season.
So there's a live reaction. There hasn't been a lot of time to think or discuss. There hasn't been any more conversation since what happened after the roundtable. I'm assuming that they're all in their rooms at this current time. So, with these unique circumstances and with the final day of Traitors ahead of you, who do you kill?
If I'm Rob, you know who I kill?
Who?
I kill Maura.
Really? Why?
Because if you kill her, you can again say, there's no, like, I've been fucking her back at the hotel. Why would I kill her? I'm a faithful. I want to have a relationship with her after this. I'm not going to kill someone that I want to pursue after this whole endeavor. You pin it on Mark.
You think that takes all suspicion off of Rob?
I think that would take 100% suspicion
Damn.
off of Rob at this part in this,
so
part of the game.
We basically said for I would say the bulk of the season, you take Maura to the end if you're Rob.
Yeah, but I think now with how it is,
wow. I
think he can, if Maura is out of the picture, he disables his own duo. He still has Eric there, right? Because the game that Rob is playing now, do I fuck Maura over, not fuck her, because I'm going to do that regardless, but am I going to fuck her over tonight or tomorrow night? That's the game he's playing.
Holy shit, you're right. I guess it doesn't make a difference at this point.
It doesn't. So if he's truly trying to finesse his way, I think he murders Maura. And now he might not have the emotional capacity to do that, right? He was real fucked up at the beginning of this episode, being upset about the fact that he's been lying and the weight of his lies. Does he let the weight of his lies continue with Maura for one more day, right? He's so close there, just keeps her. But I think if he is truly trying to win this game, I think he would take out, him and Eric would take out Maura.
I think that's a great answer. Here's what I wrote. and I don't know if it's better, but it's a different way of thinking. It could be the other way that they decide to go, because we've seen Rob be so loyal. He's been so loyal to Eric when he hasn't had to be. He's been mopey about Maura. So if, say, that is his motivator here, I think, and I said this last week too, I think you kill Tara, because Tara is completely useless to the game at this point. She's not interested in playing, so you can't rely on her to make mistakes and divert the attention. If anything, she might just crash into you because of her lack of caring, because her apathy could actually open her eyes to what's actually going on.
But then I would say, why not Johnny? Because Johnny is proven to be slightly more strategic. And obviously the traitors don't know that Johnny was in a confessional saying, I think it's Eric and Rob. But like, you don't need to control Tara at this point. Just let her fucking spiral by herself, because you think Mark's going to trust her? No.
Right. Here's why you keep Johnny. Because Mark told Rob that he believes that Tara is a faithful. So that's like okay, good. We don't need her around then, because she's not going to serve any purpose that we have going into the very last roundtable, or even standing at the fire pit. Who's been a suspect out of the remaining players for weeks at this point? Johnny. I think it's your last
fall guy.
It's your last move. I think because I'm thinking about, how do I convince Mark? Because if I have Mark and Eric voting with me, if I have Mark and Maura and Eric who are going to vote with me no matter what, or Maura and Eric rather, yeah, like, we've got the group going into this last banishment. Even if Mark flips, you still have Maura and Eric to vote with you to send Johnny home. Hey, he was the traitor after all. He did pull one over on Tara. You can't.
I've just waffled back and forth.
You cannot convince anyone that Tara was a traitor. So if you don't kill Tara now, you're bringing her to the fire pit. And I don't think she's going to be useful at the fire pit, because she has admitted that she's not good at the game and she doesn't want to play anymore. I think at this point, you take that out.
But then you have to ask the question of, does Johnny have it in him to be a traitor with his counterpart, faithful Tara? And they kind of made it clear that they don't have that in them to go against each other like that. So I truly think if you're going to try to sell Johnny as a traitor, Tara has to be right there with him. So I think if maybe another possible route is you kill maybe Maura, and then you go to Mark and you go, Mark, what the fuck? Like, I'm crying. My fuck buddy's gone, upset. Eric's like, what the fuck? Maura's gone. Who could do that? Johnny. Let's get Johnny out. Let's get Tara out. Okay, those were our traitors. Guys, let's go and win this together as all faithfuls, quote unquote. Right? Because I do think though, if we step back again, if you disable Johnny and take out Tara, then Johnny is now doing two things, and his brain power is at full capacity right now, which is he's trying to prove that he's not a traitor to everyone. I'm a faithful. Faithfuls, let's band together. Let's stay together. We want the money together, right? And now he's grieving Tara and being like, fuck, which way do I go? Who do I trust? What do I do? Right? So he's doing multiple things at once if you take Tara away from him. And he's also trying to suss out the other traitors too.
Here's the thing though. I think if he's alone, it doesn't matter how hard his brain is working. Look at how hard Natalie was working in this episode. Not the rest of the show, but in this episode. Look at how hard Natalie fought. And actually, I want to call back to a line that she dropped at the roundtable where she called out Candace's vote for Rob, and Maura said, well, you're that's just grasping. And she said, Natalie says to everyone, we have to grasp at what we have. Amazing case, because it goes back to evidence. That's been like the theme of this season, is we're working off of evidence, whether we're right or wrong. And she says it's something.
But when we're wrong, we don't like the evidence, aka Ron against Portia.
And you use that statement. If I'm Rob, I go to Mark and I say, Mark, I think it is Johnny. Think about what Natalie said last night. We have to grasp at what we have. What do we have? Everyone suspected Johnny, and then we just turned off of him.
Now I
in
know
an
what
instant.
this is. You just want the Eric in the cage and Johnny running around being
Hey,
unable to collect
shut up.
skulls. You really want this? That's what you're doing right now.
I have one more episode.
You have an ulterior motive that you're trying to push right now, and I see fucking through it.
No, this is I really do think that this is what I would do in this situation, because what we've said throughout kind of this episode, even alliances get you to the end of the game. So break up that alliance so that they don't get to the end of the game, because I would rather take Johnny. I would take full brain power Johnny by himself than Johnny with Johnny too, because Tara is going to agree with Johnny no matter what, which means you have 2 people against you instead of 1. And that's literally, the numbers make sense. But I do think that killing Maura could also work the way that you think it's like I do. There are 2 different ways. And it really, I think it's going to be driven by like literally Rob's heart. How does he want to play this?
It's going to be Rob determining when Maura goes, not Eric.
Yeah.
Because Eric's not going to try to strong arm Rob over that. So, I mean, I think it would be, for Rob's perspective, I feel like maybe it would be better for him to cut her now, because he doesn't have to look her in the face.
Yeah.
Right? She gets to go in the coffin and he gets to cry with her. And then she goes, and then he reveals to her 24 hours later that he was actually a traitor. Baby, I got the money. We're going out for lobster bisque tonight.
Good point. I think it's got to go one of those 2 ways, though.
But as a viewer, I would love for him to keep Maura and her learn that he is a traitor face to face at the final banishment.
I don't think you kill Johnny. I don't think you kill Mark. I think it is between Tara and Maura. So, I mean, look, if you're listening to this now, I mean, you might already know what happens, because the finale is out as we record this. So our finale recap will be dropping very soon.
We have to watch it first. We still have not watched it. So all of these takes are pure and unfiltered and unbiased as far as how the finale actually goes. So we shall see.
But how fucking great would it be if we're right?
I would love that.
So
I love when I'm right.
Again, appreciate you checking it out. If it's the first time, if you're a returning listener, follow us on Instagram at Backdoors and Blindsides. Check out our YouTube channel where we have full video episodes and reels. You can at least hit that subscribe button. It's free to subscribe to our podcast and all of its channels. That's all we ask. And also your praise and compliments, and eventually giving us money. But at Backdoors and Blindsides on Instagram, and we are available wherever you get your podcasts. So if you're recommending it to a friend, whatever platform they want, we are available on.
And don't forget Threads too, which we will be way more active on for Big Brother, because I live post reactions about Big Brother, and our content is so good that none other than Taylor Hale started following us.
That's right. Winner of Big Brother 20-something.
One of the more recent ones. Yeah. I'm blanking now.
And host of 25. Big Brother the Big Brother After Show alongside
and
Derek.
She was just on Big Brother version of Amazing Race.
Yes.
And she was in the finale for that. So we have reality TV celebrity endorsing us, if you will.
P1, Taylor Hale.
Yeah.
So we're collecting Big Brother people like candy. Do you know if Sage still follows us?
Yeah, she does.
Fuck yeah. And Sage from Survivor 49 follows us too.
Yeah. And Jimmy from Big Brother 27.
Jimothy. With that, let's get the fuck out of here and go eat so that we can watch the finale. Whether you like it in the castle, like me,
or you like it in the turret, like me.
However you like your game played, true faithfuls and master traitors are always taken care of here on Backdoors and Blindsides.